Do you know any famous detectives, particularly fictional detectives? I don't know any real detectives, but mystery fiction has created some great heroes. I would suggest everybody knows the name Sherlock Holmes, right? And that was perhaps, I don't know if it was the first detective, but certainly the most popular early detectives. So there's Sherlock Holmes by Arthur Conan Doyle. Anybody else? Any other famous detectives? I would suggest maybe the next most famous would be Hercule Poirot. It's like Piorot. Is that how it's spelled? He's a Belgian detective. Hercule Poirot. Maybe you don't know him so well, but his he was created by Agatha Christie. Everybody's heard of Agatha Christie, right? So I think Agatha Christie's most famous Hercule Poirot mystery is, in English, it's called Murder on the Orient Express. The Orient Express was the train that used to run. I think you could get on at London. I think somehow you get on at London, you take a ship, and then you go through Paris and through Switzerland, maybe. I don't know, but you go through Eastern Europe, through Prague and Bulgaria and places like that, and eventually you get to Istanbul, and it sort of has a romantic history. I'm not sure it's a very practical train, but yeah, I think you can still do that now. You can recreate that, the journey of the uh, Orient Express. Anyway, so she she famously set a murder on the Orient Express, and then her hero, Hercule Poirot, had to solve the mystery. Now, I originally really didn't like this book, or I didn't like the idea of it because it's so conventional, so kind of boring. It's like, oh, a detective gets on the train and there's all these rich people and there's a murder, and oh, using his intelligence, he solves the crime. How boring. That was my feeling. I thought, but then I actually thought, well, perhaps I should read the book before having an opinion. It's always a good idea to do some research before you make your mind up. And I have to say, it was quite a good book. It was quite interesting. And one of the interesting things about it was it was published in 1933. So the other great, not great, but the other very important event that happened in 1933, as Adolf Hitler was elected in Germany and became the chancellor, and then later the Führer, and we know how that story ended. So it was written at that time, and it seems amazing to me that there would be a popular book from 1933 that's still good today. Um, but also it's kind of interesting because to me that's the most interesting thing that happened in 1933 was Adolf Hitler, and she didn't write anything about that. You know, she wrote about people on a train going to Istanbul. So I thought was maybe had missed a chance to talk about something really big. But then I thought, well, if I was writing a murder mystery, would I write about Trump? Would I write about the war in Ukraine? Maybe not, because it almost feels boring because it's in the news every day. I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about something else. I don't know. Anyway, so this is this story, this article, story, lesson even, um, is about Murder on the Orient Express and the the story that it was. It's a very what we call um, a soft boiled or cozy mystery. There's not really any big threat, and the hero is a genius who solves crimes by being smart. Um, so I don't think it's very realistic, but it is a good story, and there is a great twist at the end. Twist, a surprising event. When we discover who the real murderer is, I won't tell you. I won't spoil it. But it's not who you expect. I'll leave it at that. But and that kind of style of writing where it's a puzzle mystery, then the enjoyment is solving the puzzle. But it's always impossible to solve because the author doesn't tell you everything you need to know. But if you want to try out a classic English whodunit, who did the crime, then Murder on the Orient Express is very good. If you want, I'd recommend watching the fairly recent movie by Kenneth Branagh. I think it came out a few years ago. It's like 2 or 3 years ago, and that was very good. Um, with lots of some famous actors in it. It was a good Hollywood movie, and that was nicely done. I enjoyed that. That's my recommendation. Okay, well, have a look and have a go answering the questions, and I will see you next time for more fun and no murders. Okay, see you next time. Thank you.